Hello and welcome to the 2020 virtual graduation. Tonight we are honoring and celebrating the work of the seniors who are graduating this year. Due to circumstances related to the coronavirus, we are having to honor our graduates in a remote ceremony followed by family pictures by the school. While we are getting bombarded by news about this pandemic, I don't want to take away from the accomplishments of this group. The one message from tonight that I hope that stays with these graduates is that don't let this diminish what you've done. This global pandemic will eventually subside. Your entire future is ahead of you. For the past 13 years, your job has been to go to school and do your best. Well, that part of your life is over. Now you will be focusing on adulthood and the challenges and rewards that come with it. While it's disappointing that you weren't physically in school these past 2 months, celebrate your journey and look to the future. Good luck, be safe, and wash your hands.
So this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. If you're hearing this speech, it means we did it. We won. We managed to get through all the homework, the tests, a global pandemic, social isolation, everything. But this is our last stop. This moment has filled me with so many emotions, almost to the point where I just felt overwhelmed. But it's at this time that I'm reflecting on all the good memories that I've shared with this community. I want to personally thank all my teachers, my coaches, Nick Finley, Rod Van Son, and Dick Hawkins, my parents, who raised me for 18 years just to address them in this speech, my friends, and this community as a whole for shaping me into the man I am today. It was with your encouragement and tutoring that guided me down this path to this very moment. It's because of all of you that our class will go off into this world to take on the next set of challenges and obstacles that life will throw at us. I would like to share a quote from a man named Shannon McCormick, who I found extremely inspirational. We did our best, and it's only by doing our best, our absolute best, and failing, that we truly realize how much we stink. We all have regrets, lost friends we'd like to have around, things we'd want to take back. But the past is done. We need to do better now. We be better now. Now is the only time that's ever mattered. Ask yourself, do I make bad decisions? How can I do better? Who do I want to be? The past doesn't define who you are. It just gives you the starting point for who you're going to be. This quote has always been something I remember in stressful situations. What I've learned over the past few years, it's not the sum of the parts that make you who you are. It's not intelligence or strength, but what you hold on to through the hardest trials of life. It's the people who stand by your side through thick and thin, who help you when you get knocked down. Over the course of life, many people have shown me that real heroes aren't born, they're forged. Anna Hollyman once said, "What makes a hero is their ability to choose light over darkness, to walk through fire and not be burned, to fall from great heights and not be broken, to be changed and reborn and be better for it again and again. It's who you become when you lose someone close, when the world stops making sense and you're thrust into responsibility that you've never asked for, when you feel like the world is coming down on you but you just fight through it. That's what makes a hero. And it's what I see in all of the adults who have helped us through this journey. To be honest, it pains me to leave the school. I always thought I'd be ready to move on, to start my journey into adulthood, but that is not the case. I'm ready to go to college, but that learning curve from the high school to the real world is a steep one, and I'm sure many of us aren't even ready for it. But with the right help, the right guidance, and the right expertise, we can accomplish anything in our way. When I came to this school, I didn't know what to expect. But with all of your help, I became to feel accepted and one with this community. All of a sudden, I started to make brand new memories of my own. Whether they were good or bad, didn't matter to me. Because all these memories are what made me who I am. And I had the privilege to meet some amazing people in this community. But now it's time to go and start the next saga of our lives. I will always remember this place and everyone I've known. I'm not going to say goodbye in the traditional sense, because it's usually sad. So, instead, I'm going to say, hasta la vista, baby. Thank you, everyone, and congrats to the class of 2020. Now let's celebrate! Woo!
Welcome to the Ninilchik School graduating class of 2020. Welcome to your parents, your friends, family, teachers, and anyone else you would have invited to your commencement exercises. Sitting in my kitchen for the last 2 weeks, trying to decide on a topic of my address given these unstable times, the realization finally hit me. Your class asked me to be your graduation speaker before the extended spring break, before social distancing, and before quarantine. What words of wisdom would I have given to you at that point? My next thought was, why do they think I have any wisdom to impart? Maybe they know how terrifying public speaking is and they want to torture me. Maybe they know I'm crazy and think I'll break out in song. Maybe it's because we made a connection. We're connected through Ninilchik School. I am a class of 1988 alumni. I am a Wolverine and proud of it. I love basketball, especially when we're winning, but even when we're losing. I've been a member of student council, yearbook, and volleyball. I had a favorite teacher, even though he taught history, and I don't like history. Sorry, Miss Dunbar. I had a least favorite class. You know, the one which requires you to write so much. English. Sorry again, Mrs. Dunbar. I love to hang out with my friends, and the thought of losing touch with them never crossed my mind. But things were about to change. We are connected through family, literally. A couple of you share with me a vast family tree that can be traced back to the first settlers in Ninilchik. As you know, family is an ever-present and wholly important aspect of my life. Although it may be hard for you to tell, I am the baby of my family. When I was 4, my big sis left home for college. This followed another life-altering event, which I'll get to, but the point is, I was left to the care of my other big sister. When I was 10, she abandoned me. Not really. She got out of high school, but I felt abandoned. Then the next year she made me an auntie, and by the time my graduation came about, I had a nephew and 3 nieces. Leaving them behind was the hardest and easiest part of going away to college. My single working mother and I had lived alone for the last 7 years. How was she going to cope without me? The appointment of a babysitter, if you don't know, goes from younger sibling to grandma. They would take care of each other during the time of adjustment while I abandoned them. We're connected through loss. By the time I gave my valedictorian speech, death was nothing new to me. At age 4, I had endured the trauma of watching my father and sister drown. While I don't recall being traumatized, my mother later told me that I followed her around the house for months, telling her in as much detail as a 4-year-old can exactly what happened. Uncle Ernie, Uncle Harry, Auntie Gladys, Elena, the beautiful girl who suffered from leukemia. And that same year, my 1st and 2nd grade teacher was killed by a drunk driver on her way to work. During my senior year, my best friend died in a vehicle rollover. And later, a very close friend took his own life. I have known loss, as have you. Other losses are divorce, friends moving, space shuttles exploding, or, in your case, not being able to participate in your own commencement exercises. These can hit just as hard as a death. Know that you are not alone. Loss is just another inevitable change in the path of life for everybody. All of these things connect us. They are products of change. This was just a snapshot of my first 18 years. In the 30 years that have passed since my own graduation, change has continued to shape my life. Go to class, Rufus. Change will continue to change yours as well. Do not be afraid to embrace change. It will happen regardless. In these past few months, we've seen change on the scale that the world hasn't seen for some time. COVID-19 is a reality we all wish would have been avoided, but it is here regardless. I'm proud of this class for adjusting to the new norms forced upon us. I know you will continue to adapt, and by the end of it all, you will be stronger and better people for it. My final words of advice: live a life true to yourself. Let your feelings out. Allow yourself to cry when you're sad, but more importantly, cry when you're happy. Be angry when it's called for, but always be willing to forgive. Think before you act or speak. Love unabashedly, but be prepared for rejection, because there will be some. Be kind, especially to the elderly, young, and animals. Lend a hand whenever you can, and reach for your dreams. Never leave room for regret in your life. There is so much more, but you will figure it out. By the time you're my age, you will be wiser than I am. Remember, hindsight is 20/20. In the meantime, live by our school rules of respectful, responsible, and safe, and you will get along just fine. Class of 2020, I am honored to have known you as students, and I look forward to watching you grow. Congratulations.